The steps of factoring, and then we'll move on to the next section. Steps of factoring. Kind of just write everything that we've talked about so far in one place. It's not so bad when they split up into different sections, but when you go to like this next section or the review and look at all of it individually, it's hard when they mix it all together. So first step is always take out the GCF. Then you basically have two options from there. You could have two terms. You have three options from there. So two terms, which would be the ones we just talked about. You had a squared minus b squared would break down to a minus b and a plus b. So that's the difference of squares, the first thing we talked about. And then the ones we just talked about, a cubed plus b cubed and a cubed minus b cubed. So you have a squared, b squared. So you have same sign, opposite sign, plus sign. So if it's, once you've taken the GCF out, if there's only two terms, it's going to be one of those. That's your only options. Okay, if you have four terms, you have to do factor by grouping. If you have four terms, you have to do factor by grouping. So if you had x cubed minus 2x squared this one, just for an example, remember you group them together, you group these two together. So my red one, what can I pull out? X squared, right? That's squared. Yeah, x squared. So x minus 2. And my blue one, what can I pull out? Let's pull out -4 to get our signs right. So then x minus 2. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do this. So now I put those two together and these two together. But now I can also simplify this, right? X squared minus 4. I can make that x plus 2, x minus 2, and x minus 2. All right, so two terms has got to be special. Four terms has got to be factored by grouping. Three terms is the tougher one. Three terms, you have two options. You can have not a number in front of x squared, or 1 in front of x squared technically. Which those are the easy ones where you just do, all right, what multiplies to be -20 and adds up to be -8. What? -10 and +2. So x times x is x squared. -10 times 2 is -20. -10 plus 2 is -8. Your other option here is if you do have a number in front of x squared, you got to multiply to start. So let me think of one real quick here. That's not a good one. No, that one I can do the GCF, can't I? Don't want to be able to do the GCF. Dang, it's hard to think of these. Yeah. A four-term one. Okay, I'll go back in that section for just a second. All right, so here you do 2 times 9, which would be 18. So it multiplies to be 18 and adds up to be -9. 3 and 6, so they both be negative, right? So if you're doing it my way, you do 2x in both spots, minus 3 and minus 6. And then you can divide this one by 2. So you get 2x minus 3 and x minus 3. And again, you multiply by 2, so you divide by 2. So that's pretty much everything that we've covered so far mixed together, and that's what the next section kind of does. But you 2 options, it's special. 2 terms, it's special. 4 terms, it's back-to-back grouping. 3 terms, you got to look at if there's a number for an x squared. Let me go back and try to find the problem you're talking about. I think I know which one you're talking about. Like, no, we did that one. I don't see it. Is it in this section?
6-1, no.
That's the 4-term section, isn't it? What section do you think it's in? 6-2?
I don't know if it's 3 or 4 times. I just remember maybe 2. It's got, like square.
Like this one?
Yeah, okay, that'd be one of them.
What's there?
X on one side and B on the other.
A squared minus 9ab. So a squared minus 9ab plus 20b squared, like that. All right, so really what you're looking at here is you have a squared and a right here coming from the left side, and then coming from the right side you have b squared and b. So really what you can do is just a on the left side and b on the right side, because a times a will give you a squared and b times b will give you b squared. So now you look at, okay, what multiplies to be 20 and adds up to be negative 9. But negative 4 and negative 5. So negative 4, negative 5.
So you only, at the beginning, you don't have to pull out the GCF from like.
Well, you can't pull out a GCF because a squared's in this one and this one, but there's not an a in this one.
Okay.
Same thing with the b. There's a b and b in this one, but not this one. So there's not an a, b in all 3 of them. Yeah, that one looks like it's able to pull out the GCF, but it's only in 2 terms.
B on the right side.
Some people will actually, even when they do, but you do the AC method,
I like doing that too.
will factor. Well, that's different than the AC, I guess. But some people will write it over here and do 20b and 9b, and then okay, say negative 4b times negative 5b will be 20b squared. Negative 4 minus 5b will be negative 9b. Does that make more sense to you? Yeah, you can do it like that.